The Breakers story is a documentary on the history of the professional women's soccer team, the Boston Breakers. This video will break down the history of the longest-serving team in the U.S. and will show the story of the club from the beginning to the present. We will also look at the goals and what the future holds for the franchise on and off the field. Let the journey begin. The Boston Breakers are the longest-running professional women's soccer team in U.S. history, with roots dating back more than a decade. Founded in 2000, the Breakers played in the Women's United Soccer Association. This was the first professional soccer league for women in North America and was formed after the success of the 1999 Women's World Cup.
I was so fortunate to play my whole entire professional career for the Boston Breakers. I played in the first league, the WUSA. It was so much fun, from the top down, Joe Cummings, from the staff to the coaching staff to the players, and of course to the fans. My time in Boston was special to me, so thank you so much.
To me, the Breakers means spirit, because that's what it took to establish a women's professional program in Boston. Being part of the Breakers organization emphasized what it means to be part of a team. Ownership group, coaching staff, players, and office staff. Together, we built a team through a number of different leagues. I wish the Breakers well this season, and I thank all of those folks that are responsible for bringing the Breakers to you. Thank you, and go Breakers.
Inside, nice cut, David shot on the post and in! Bigman scores for Boston!
It was a wonderful experience because I became a better coach being in Philadelphia, and now become a head coach for players like Mara Marinette, Kristen Lilly, Angela Huclis, and with a coaching staff that made me look good. Fantastic, very important to me. It means a lot because it was another step in my professional career, coaching good players and being around international players in Boston, Boston Breakers. That was a good year for me.
I had some very good experiences with the Breakers because when I came into Boston in 2000, I played the first season with the Breakers, and that was my chance to be a professional athlete and be in another country, and it was just a wonderful time to see all the people coming out to our games and to be part of the Boston Breakers group. And the Boston Breakers mean to me that's my family in the USA, because with all the stuff that took care of us, and all the players and especially all the fans that came out to our games to support the Breakers. It was the best soccer time in my life, and I still feel like I'm part of the Breakers family. When I come to Boston, I want to watch games from the Breakers and I want to support them, and I will never forget the time I had there. And for all the fans, as always, excuse my bad English, I'm still from Germany. And go support the Breakers. Go Breakers!
Well, I'd just been drafted out of college and I didn't know I was going to get drafted. And it was just one of those things of, oh my God, my dream is actually going to come true. And Boston was such a great city. The fans are great. They turned out. We played over at BU and it was electrifying every single game day. I mean, sometimes you just walk through the streets and people would be yelling out, you know, let's go Breakers. So it was a great experience. I met some of my best friends there, and I got to play with some of the best players in the world coming right out of college, like Maren Meinert, Christine Lilly, Bettina Wiegmann. It was a phenomenal experience, and I loved every moment of it. It's such a sports city, so as an athlete, it's like where you want to be. So for me, Boston, no matter where or what team I'm playing for, what city I'm representing, it will be always the city that started it all off for me. So I always enjoy coming back, going to my favorite spots, eating at some of my favorite foods, and just seeing people who became family to me all these years later.
I got the chance to play with and against some of the best players in the world, and it definitely made me a better player. The Breakers will always be a part of my life. The 3 years I stayed there was the best years I had as a soccer player, and I consider myself as really lucky to have been a part of the league. I also remember the fans were amazing. We had thousands of people cheering for us every game, and it was a lot of fun.
We had 5 captains of 5 different national teams on one Boston Breaker team at one time. Dagny Melgren, awesome. KK, awesome. Christine Lilly, awesome, runs forever. Maren Meinert, she's gonna win World Cups as a coach one day. And then me, I sat on the bench, but played a little bit. It's pretty awesome. I love having been a part of a pro franchise in Boston is a very special thing. I have a very vivid memory of being on the tee and having a young Asian girl, a doctor, a construction worker, like people of 4 different races, all different ages, just having a very casual conversation about how bad the Red Sox played the night before. And it just brought them together, and I just thought, like, this is what sports is all about. And to be able to have been on a franchise that was also a part of Boston sports is a very special experience. The one thing I learned being on the Boston Breakers was going out into the community and realizing that I had power as a professional athlete. Nobody knew my name, nobody knew who I was, but these kids look up to you because they know that you're a professional athlete and they want your autograph, and you realize you have this effect on them. And that was the first time playing for the Boston Breakers that I realized I had a voice and I had power as a professional athlete. And that's something that to this day has driven the decisions I make and what I choose to do. Having been a part of the Boston Breakers and an organization that did such a good job at building its roots in the community, I would go into the office and go over to a PR person and be like, what do you do? And then go to academy or go to the youth development and be like, what are you guys doing? How can I help? And so I learned a little bit about the business and what it takes to grow women's soccer.
Playing for the Breakers was truly what I consider a chance in a lifetime. I had personal growth, I had professional growth with the Breakers, and it was an exciting time to be a part of women's soccer. It's still an exciting time to be a part of women's soccer, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I had playing with the Boston Breakers. I have lifelong friends that I formed through that experience and had the opportunity to play with the best and be coached by the best in the sport, and will always look back on those days very fondly. The Boston Breakers is my soccer home. It was the organization that drafted me once I graduated from college. It was the very first professional team that I played for, and it was the team that I played for through my career in its entirety. So the Breakers to me are my soccer home.
The WUSA started in 2001 but only lasted 3 seasons. In the final season, the Breakers finished top of the table during the regular season, but lost in PKs in the playoff semifinal. In April 2007, the Boston Breakers were re-established and began playing again in 2009 when the new league, Women's Professional Soccer, started.
Stay tuned for more behind the scenes in LA with the Boston Breakers, and the mayhem has just begun. Hi, everybody. Christine Latham here with the Boston Breakers, Canadian national team member.
I'm Kristen Luckenbill.
I'm Heather Metz from the U.S. Women's National Team. Hello, it's Nancy and Ashley.
I'm Alex, play for the national team, England, that's why the accent.
I'm Jenny Nobis. Hey, Rod. Yes. Hi, Jen.
Don't make me do this right now.
I love coaching the Boston Breakers. First of all, I love Boston. What a great city, great sports town. And we had the chance to train and play at Harvard University. I can remember during the World Cup, training a little bit early, walking across the bridge into Harvard Square and going to watch the Men's World Cup games from South Africa. Boston was awesome. The Breakers organization, Joe Cummings was the general manager and president that brought me to the team, and I coached some wonderful players like Kelly Smith and Christine Lilly and Leslie Osborne, and it was just an awesome experience for me. My message to the Boston Breakers fans are support the team. And from a player development standpoint, I can't impress on you players, parents, and coaches enough that when you see this level of soccer in person, you're a better player after the game. I've experienced that as a coach, taking my players to top level games, and then they were better the next day in practice. So when you get a chance to see elite players and enjoy the overall Breakers experience, do it. It'll be great for soccer, it'll be great for women's soccer, great for Boston, and you'll get a lot from it too. Go Breakers.
Boston became my second home. I loved my time there. As far as soccer, it was the best organization I played for. They were a class act in every way possible. I loved our fans, our field, our community, everything around the Boston Breakers, having all the professional teams support us and just be a community. That was really, really cool to be a professional athlete there. Off the field, my second family. I'm super close to a lot of people there, families, fans. I got to have great relationships with restaurants and shops and just being with Puma out there in Boston. I lived there full time for 2 years, so I can definitely say that it's my second home and I absolutely love my time with the Breakers. Boston Breakers mean the world to me. They're my family. I still feel like I'm part of it, even though I've been retired for a year. I had 3 of the best years of my life there. Some of my best friends played there with me. I'm forever thankful and grateful for all of the opportunities and the people I met there. And although it was tough in the beginning, coming from the Midwest to California to Boston and adjusting to the East Coast life culture out there, I embraced it and they embraced me, and I can't wait to get back to Boston.
I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing for the Boston Breakers. I had 3 seasons at the club. It was fantastic because at the club there were hard-working, good people, not necessarily just the players but the backroom staff also. I also got to play with players such as Christine Lilly, Angela Hookleys, Leslie Osborne, Christine Latham, to name just a handful. We played some really good, attractive soccer under Tony DiCicco, and it was just some of the best moments of my career playing out in America, in Boston. It's a fantastic club, still holds very dear memories in my heart, my time out there. And the fans really, they made it special coming to the games. Some had drums, the Riptide I remember being very loud and noisy. But no, it's just a fantastic city, and I still have my Boston Breakers t-shirt. There you go. This was the training t-shirt, so I'm very proud of that. I still have that at home and dear in my heart. I have so many favourite moments, I can't actually list, 1, 2 or 3. There's too many moments to cherish. I just love getting up every morning, going to work at Harvard Stadium and going out and training with my teammates and putting everything on the line, putting your body on the line, and wanting to be winners. That's what it was all about, turning up, giving your best and doing your all for the Breakers. I wish I was younger so I could come back and play for you again, but I've since retired from international football and probably got 1 year left playing at Arsenal, now back in England. So for all the fans out there, keep supporting Boston. As I said, it's a fantastic club. Get behind your team because all the players want to do well for you and for the city. Go Breakers!
I'm from Boston. I drive a car.
I can't compete with that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well done. Way to go.
Hit it on frame.
Oh, what a ball. Latham to the right back. Scott. She is on and she is in. Scott with a shot. Oh! It's 1-1. What a goal!
In 2012, the Breakers competed in the WPSL Elite League after the WPS collapsed. The Breakers won the WPSL Elite regular season title with an 11-3 record, but didn't make it to the championship final after losing in the playoff semi.
I originally came in and I was an account executive. I sold tickets. It was an intro position. I used my contacts that I had with all the youth communities to be able to introduce the Breakers to them, sell them tickets and get them out to games. And that's pretty much where I started off at the Breakers. As an account executive, Andy Crossley, the former GM, promoted me to the sales director. At that time, we're in WPS. 2010 when I first started ticket sales. Then we went heading into the 2000 WPS season, and I was the sales director. Unfortunately, from there, WPS folded, and everything kind of went away, so to speak. Everyone went their own different ways. I sat with our managing partner, Michael Stoller, and we decided that we've got an option. We could either let the Breakers brand just disappear until the next reiteration of a professional women's league, if there was going to be one, or we could keep the brand in market and find a league for it to play in. So that's what happened. I basically took on pretty much all the roles: account executive, sales director, general manager, operations. I mean, it was pretty much a one-man show assisted by one other person. And for the efforts of a couple of the owners that we have in this league right now, Mike Stoller, they were able to speak with the WPSL, and the WPSL Elite League was formed. The team was a good team for an amateur league or a semi-pro league. It was a very good team that we put together, some players that we still have, and some players in the league played in that team back then. Yeah, from there we kept the brand going. We was able to build in different components, camps and clinics for the revenue streams. And I guess the ownership group and Michael liked, the philosophy that I had about trying to build this as a business as well as just a soccer team. And then I was, basically kept on from there, and just as the NWSL come around, I've kept the general manager's position, and we've managed to keep developing the business and different revenue streams to be able to, provide us more revenue that's coming in and support the pro team.
I love the city of Boston. I love playing games at Harvard and just kind of being a part of a great organization that's been here since day one in any of all the women's leagues that have been here. There's a tradition that goes along with it. They've had great players such as Christine Lilly and Maren Miner and Angela Hucles, and they've just had so many incredible players that have left such a legacy, and it's fun to be a part of that on the field, and then off the field the staff has always been amazing. They work so hard, and I love the fact that they represent the Breakers so well, and I'm just glad to say that I was a part of this organization, that I've been part of it for the longest of any of my professional careers.
I think I got a lot of favourite moments being a Breaker, but I love being in Boston. I love this city. It's got some similarities to back home, and every time I come here, the fans, the club, the organisation make me feel so welcomed and so at home. So I really enjoy being here in Boston and mingling with the different people around the place.
I remember going to Breakers games when I was younger, when they were part of the WUSA, when they played at Nickerson Field. And it was some of the best times of my life. It was they're my favorite team growing up, and I always wanted to play for them. It was my dream to play for them. So thanks to all the support that they've had throughout these last few years, I've been able to accomplish my goals and be able to play for the Boston Breakers. It's been some of the best years of my life playing for the Breakers. They are a professional organization, through the front office to the coaching staff, to the fans, the way that we're supported. It's an amazing experience having the fan support the way that we do. For me, it means everything to be a part of the Breakers organization. It's like I said, this is my dream to play for the Boston Breakers, and I wouldn't want to play for any other team. And I grew up wanting to be a Breaker ever since I was younger, watching WUSA games.
My first year, I was just trying to get my bearings. I was learning a lot from my teammates about what it was going to take to make it as a pro, and now I think I've figured that out, and I'm just trying to grow as a player every day, and trying to help the younger girls to grow and help them to learn how you can make it as a pro. The Breakers have been around since day one of women's professional soccer in the United States, and I think that's really cool and a really important thing to remember every day, that you're representing a long line of women's soccer players in the Breakers organization.
The National Women's Soccer League began play in 2013. The Boston Breakers were one of the 8 teams in the league. The 2016 season will be the 4th season of the NWSL, which now has 10 teams. There are national team players from all over the world, including the U.S. players that were crowned Women's World Cup champions in 2015.
The earliest memory of the Boston Breakers would be coming into preseason, my rookie year in 2010. We were in the Harvard bubble, fitness testing, so running the beep test and having to look over to my right, and just watching Kristen and Lily just run circles around every one of us on the team at, I think she was 39 at the time. So, but just that first day of preseason, everybody that was there and the experience of it.
We get to live our dream every single day that we come out to training. There are only 9 teams in this league, so being a part of that's pretty special. And Boston's facilities, the city alone, and the organization is just top class, so I feel very fortunate to be part of it. What's special about this league is how much it's grown. Each and every year it grows so much, and that really is hopeful for us in the future as players. And being able to play with and against the national team players is absolutely incredible. It's just the level of this league is so high, and I think everyone would say that they get better every single day out on the field.
It reminds me a lot. I was in the MLS in 1998. We had a 20-player roster. The minimum salary was quite low. The travel was rough. We were working out training ground situations, and now you look at the progress that league has made after 17, 18 years. With the stadia and the infrastructure and reserve teams, and the expanded coaching staff and what they're doing from the players from a standpoint of nutrition and fitness and sports science and the use of technology, it rivals the top leagues in the world. And hopefully this league will be able to stay the course. And I would like to see all the girls make more money. I repeat again, I find it compelling, their commitment to keep the sport going and to stay in the sport, because they sacrifice a lot. Many of them are really well educated. You look at Lauren Lazo's graduating from Princeton this week. Molly Papin's one of the smartest young people I've ever met. They could go the same route as Jazz Reeves or Courtney Jones and go into business and retire at an early age, but they're in here plugging, trying to keep the sport going, and you have to admire that. I admire the Breakers organization, number one for the current ownership group and their commitment to the sport of women's soccer, and especially in Boston, which is a big-time sports town. There's a lot of competition, but really their financial sense in terms of sustainability for what they're trying to achieve here.
like being able to be home and kind of like be a part of the community where I grew up is amazing. I feel at home when I'm with the girls, I feel at home when we're training, I feel at home even when we're away, just kind of, it's like a family atmosphere.
It feels like I'm cheering on a big sister or a cousin, and I'm so proud of them. And when they're happy, I feel happy, and when they're upset, I feel the same way also. During the season, they are my passion. They mean more to me than going to the beach or to a party. Nothing can stop me from being there. Even during the off season, I'm always waiting for their updates and their news. We drive 2 hours to get there because the atmosphere is so incredible and the games are so exciting that you will find me jumping out of my seat to cheer during the game. Then there's Autograph Alley where you can talk with the players and have conversations and ask questions. It's not just a soccer game.
Well, I had a ticket to the very first Breakers home game back in 2001, but I didn't go. I remember going to a game with they did a doubleheader with the Revolution in 2002, and I went to that at Gillette Stadium. And what I remember most of that game is that even after watching 2 different sets of professional teams play, the best player on the field was Christine Lilly, bar none. Probably my favorite game was the 4-0 win we had against Sky Blue back in 2010. Since the WPS started, I've only missed 2 home games. It means a lot. I just love watching the Breakers, and I love being a fan. I love the environment, the atmosphere of the stadium, and fans. Met a lot of good people being a fan of the Breakers and women's soccer in general.
My experience with the Breakers started back in the WPS days. I'd go to games sporadically, take in the family atmosphere at Harvard, and catch some great soccer. Over time, that experience has evolved into much more. In 2013, my husband and I jumped at the opportunity to host a player. 1 player turned into 2, and we saw the organization and the league in a whole new light. It's been very rewarding for us. We have really gotten to know the players on a personal level, and it means so much more to us when we see how hard these players work and how much they want this league to succeed, the team to succeed. It's really, it's a special experience, and it's really one that's been quite unforgettable for us. I'm grateful to the Breakers for allowing me to have such a connection, such a close connection with so many of its staff members and to many of its players. And I encourage anybody who has the opportunity and the means to be able to either purchase season tickets, get out to games, support the team at camps, or even host a player to do so, because there's really no experience like it. To me, the Boston Breakers is more than just a sports team. It's a family. The players and staff work tirelessly to make sure that each and every person who comes to the games feels a part of the team's success, whether it's before, during, or after the game. Personally, my family has been enriched greatly through the host family program, in which we've gotten to know so many of the players on a personal level. The experience has created lifelong relationships for us, and we truly feel like our family has grown since becoming involved with the Breakers.
During the WUSA days, I don't remember my daughter's exact age, but we went to a camp where she really connected with the players. Very personally, we became season ticket holders, which at the time we didn't know was the last season of the WUSA. I found myself unable to do anything to help that process, but we as a family fell in love with it. I remember my wife's first comment when we went to a game was, I can't believe the skill and the athleticism and the speed that these women play at, and this is incredible. We have to buy season tickets. So when the opportunity, when the early stages of the WPS were in process and being rumored about, I reached out to Gary Loveman, who was early in that process, and just felt I was at a point that I could contribute. I had sold my business and had the time and ability to invest and to take over the managing partner role. I just love the idea of seeing women's sports being very positive influence for kids, and obviously being able to see women succeed at something in a very positive fashion, particularly with teamwork and individuality and everything else involved. It's just something that this country needs. It's a thrilling experience. You feel great being at games. The game experience is amongst the best you could have anywhere. Dedicated, wonderful atmosphere, dedicated fans. I think we do need to create some European-style chants for the fans, but it's it's a family when you deal with these players, especially the younger ones just beginning to get into a professional sport. It's a overwhelming feeling of family, of joy, of seeing players that can fulfill their dreams and making the dreams of young kids come alive as well. It's a very close-knit community.
Hi, my name's Ariel O'Brien, and I play for the Boston Breakers Academy. I really enjoy being part of the Academy. I feel like we have a great connection with the pro team. I support the Boston Breakers because they are a great organization and they are really great people. Game day is the best. It's a great chance to see great soccer and meet the players after the games. People should come to Breakers games to be able to see great female soccer players and learn from the best.
I've been a Boston Breakers fan since 2009. I've been a season ticket holder since 2010, and I haven't missed a home game for 3 years now. So when you ask me, what do the Boston Breakers mean to you? They obviously mean quite a lot. We've been through a lot together, from WPS through WPSL Elite to NWSL. And when they win, I really feel like I've won, and when they lose, I feel like I've lost. So it's kind of a family situation. You can't super define it, but you know it when you see it. You know, you're happy when they're happy, and you're sad when they're sad, and you feel all those feelings in between. I always feel like they want to do their best for the fans, and I think that's what it means to be part of the Breakers family.
The fans were why we played. We played for you guys, and your support meant so much to us. So thank you for supporting me and the Boston Breakers throughout my time playing there, and thank you for your continued support of the Boston Breakers now.
I'm very proud to be part of the Boston Breaker family, and I encourage you to come to games and be part of the community as well.
In the Breakers family, it's a tremendous family to be in. Our fan base is tremendous. We've got season ticket holders that have been involved from WPS and probably even longer actually than WUSA. We have a real good fan base that's consistent fan base. Obviously, we want to expand on that fan base, but the fans that we have are very supportive in what we do. I remember the WPSL Elite League when it was the semi-pro. We were really unsure as to what the fans' reaction would be, if we would be able to gauge the interest. But we were getting over 2,000 people to those games, so we knew we had a good core fan base that were going to support us, and that's, for me as a general manager, to have that kind of support for the Breakers and for our female athletes. It's a good family to belong to. The staff we have here as well, they're all dedicated to the Breakers, really dedicated, and they share the same passion for the Breakers as what I do. And to be surrounded by people that share the same passion that you do and want to give everything towards the cause. It makes you feel special, and you're around a special group of people. And then of course we have the players. As I've said before, they don't earn millions of dollars doing this, but they give just as much, if not more, to this game and to our club than most professional athletes do. They really are. They're tremendous to be around. I know we've expanded with our academy program. We have a lot more youth players that are joining the Breakers family, so it's growing, and there's a good passion that rings throughout the Breakers family, and it's real good to see, to be around, and to be part of.
#Breakers family.
Welcome to the Boston Breakers family.
Welcome to the Breakers family.
Right now, we're the only women's pro team in the country that has a full complement of a development pathway. So we pretty much go from cradle to grave. Our youth academy starts at U6, and then it goes all the way through to the college academy team at under 23, then the reserves and the pro team. So we're the only women's pro team that has that full complement development structure.
Our vision is to really continue to build on the academy program. We are right now the only women's club in America that has a true pyramid from U littles right through to a professional team. That's very important to us, getting the players out to mentor and meet and create the connection with those little kids right up through college age players is incredible, and that's part of our vision on expanding the brand and expanding the visibility and instilling the love of soccer in kids everywhere within the Boston market.
We had some of our college academy players bump up to the reserve team. Bianca Calderoni, for an example, she was one of the captains in the college academy team, and she's obviously part of the reserve group as well. And the success stories that we had at the reserves was Rachel Wood and Suzanne Perez, who were signed on to professional contracts, and Rachel's still with us, and Suzanne's away playing in Brazil right now. So I think even that small block that we have underneath the pro team proved that it was successful for us in terms of identifying future talent and being able to really manage or get out of the players technically and tactically what we thought they needed to work on so we could bring them into the pro team. I think that worked really well, and now we're dropping that down even further to the youth kids that we can really hopefully train up and make sure that we're getting the homegrown talent kids and making sure that we're really seeing a lot of the players that we believe are going to be the future of the game, and we want to be able to bring them into the Boston Breakers. So the pyramid that we have, again, it helps us in many ways as a business and helps us largely in terms of being able to identify and nurture talent. Most recently, we partnered with New England Football Club, NEFC. They're our partner for the youth club side of things. Teams will play with the Boston Breakers logo, replica uniforms. The elite teams will be the Boston Breakers Academy, and then underneath the development teams will be NEFC Breakers. And we are probably going to have around about 1,300 players as we move into the 2016-2017 season, just in our youth academy. I think it comes out 70-80 teams, something like that. So it's an impressive jump for us straight away. One of the important things when I first came here, I'm big on development side of things. So I wanted to try and put an infrastructure in place that followed the European model. currently the Breakers are in a really good spot in terms of the league. We're entering obviously our 4th season, which is the first time Women's Professional League has entered its 4th season, and we carry on into another professional year in a professional league with the Boston Breakers brand. So, we're in a good spot right now. From a business standpoint, we keep adding revenue streams, for example, the academy, the camps and the clinics, and we keep building those revenue streams each year. Obviously, the more we're able to do that, the better it is from a business standpoint, and the investment goes back into what we do with the pro team. So I think we're in a good spot in terms of the business and how it's been built over the past 3-4 years, and there's a definite path to profitability now, which I think is important for the organisation. We have really committed owners. A few of the owners, managing partners, are heavily involved now. They work with me on some of the day-to-day things, which is great because they're only investment, again, financially, but they're also time, which is an important thing. And we've got some real smart, educated owners that are bringing some real valuable experience to the business side of it. So that's real key for us as well moving forward. And we want to keep working and building on improving the experiences that we have. I think if you saw the transition to our new stadium at Harvard, I think that made for a better game day experience for the fans. It definitely did for the players. And we want to keep improving on that each year as we grow as a business. We want to be able to grow the experiences for our fans, for our players, and to be able to continue expanding the Boston Breakers footprint. Obviously, regionally, ideally keep it moving nationally, and even internationally we want to grow the Boston Breakers footprint, and that's some of our actual short-term aims to do, and I think there'll be some exciting announcements coming in the near future in regards to that.
We have a very meaningful business plan now as a league and as teams. We have U.S. Soccer support financially as well as operationally, which we didn't have in the WPS. So where we've gone from then to today is a much more manageable, sustainable, and hopefully truly successful league. We're competing against 5 major sports plus lacrosse, men's lacrosse. So it takes a lot of effort and a lot of money to be visible within a city like Boston. Wish we had bigger budgets, et cetera, and we have a great staff who are led by Lee Billiard, working hard at constantly expanding the brand and expanding the reach.
We obviously brought in Matt, experienced coach in the women's game, did a fantastic job at Liverpool. I was really pleased to be able to bring Matt over to the Breakers. And it was a big move for him, obviously moving his young family across to the US, but it was a good time for him. It was a great time for us. Me and Matt have struck up a real good relationship in terms of we both have similar ideas as regards to players and roles and responsibilities and the philosophy that I would like the Boston Breakers brand to be playing on the field, and Matt ticks all those boxes. So I'm really pleased and excited to have Matt involved. There were obviously a lot of roster changes. We had to make some changes, some real tough changes, which is it's the hard part about this job, but we feel the changes that we've made are only going to make sure that we're pushing forward to where we want to be and being more competitive in the league this year. There's some more experienced players, some more impact players. I think we've strengthened from back to front. I think we've added quality and depth to our roster, which I'm looking forward to seeing gel together this season. In terms of the ambition, we have to do better than what we have done the past 2 years. We want to try and shoot for that 4th spot. If we end up just below that, 5th, 6th, then it's obviously progress. This is obviously a new roster, but we want to try and shoot for that 4th spot. And we think that we've got the coach and we've got the quality in our roster to be able to aim for that. We're not putting too much pressure on the players or Matt, but realistically, we would try and aim for that 4th spot.
What are the reasons and why did you decide to join the Boston Breakers?
I think it's a good opportunity for me to work in the best league in the world. I fancied a change from England as well. I'd worked in 13 years coaching in women's football, and I feel it was the right time for me and my young family to come over. I did have other offers, but this just felt right. I liked the philosophy of the club, you know, the academy system, bringing younger players through, and that's something that's important to me as well, to make sure that we produce young players, and of course looking at the history of the coaches that have coached at the club. You know, it's an honour to be one of their names on that list. As I say, I think it's a great city to live in as well, and of course it's a sports mad city. So you know, there's no better opportunity for me to help put Boston Breakers on the map in the city as well, and have a successful team. It's going to be a transitional year for me. Obviously new to the league. We've made a lot of changes to the squad as well. So I feel it's important that everyone's patient initially, just to make sure that the players can understand what I'm asking them to do. And that's going to take time. You know, the only way we're going to get better is by making mistakes. But you know, the expectations is to make sure that we have a successful season. I'm not going to put myself or the players under any pressure. Most importantly, we want to stay in touch with the top four throughout the season, so we can make sure that we're competitive and we've got something to aim for as we go. But most importantly is for me to get to know the league, the players get to know me, and hopefully over the course of a 20-game season, you know, we can produce on the pitch and be in the mix come towards the end of the season.
We think we are going to be here for years to come. It's we think the model that we have as a league is very sustainable. Our vision is to really continue to build on the academy program.
In the long term is we obviously want to be able to get a player or recognise a player in a local town program, bring them into the Breakers Academy program and have them develop all the way through the Breakers way under our instruction and the guidance on and off the field about what it's like to be a professional player, and hopefully one day be signing them to a professional contract.
It's really, really important that that as a club we produce players. Obviously it's slightly different in America because they go to different colleges and they get drafted. But from our end, it's really, really important that we engage with other clubs, and it's also important that we teach the players how to play soccer to give them the best education possible. Most importantly is, you know, we've got a lot of young players here. We've got a lot of players that, you know, that are on the fringes of the national team. You know, for me, it would be nothing but great pride to see some of them, you know, get into the national team. Obviously, Stephanie McCaffrey's done that just of late. But you know, you've got people like Christine Lewis, Cassie Corman. You know, there's other players here that can, in my opinion, you know, get into that national team. And we've recruited some very, very good young players in the recent draft. You know, it's to build a good young team with experienced players in and around them. But most importantly, look, I'm an ambitious manager or a head coach, and I want to win things. So long term, it is to make sure that we're making the playoffs on a regular basis, and you know, winning championships, and that's what I've come here to do. But it's going to take time, and we just want to make sure that we produce players as well, and the players have a learning environment where they improve, you know, day in, day out, and game by game.
Off the field, from a business standpoint, we want to make sure that we are, you know, really growing the Boston Breakers brand, the Boston Breakers footprint, and establishing it. It's tough in our market based on the other sports teams, but you know, we feel that we can get there, and that's what we're aiming for, or aggressively aiming for it, and we're dedicating our time to making ourselves known as one of the top performing sports teams in Boston. Tough, I know, but that's where we want to aim to be. So from the business standpoint, we obviously want to increase sponsorship, get more bums on seats for games, more people attending camps, clinics. We obviously have the academy program. So we want to make sure that we keep driving revenue as a business to be able to, again, invest more into what we're doing. And in terms of on the field, like everybody, we want to try and win a national championship. I mean, that's the aim, that's the goal. We want to make sure that what we're doing on the field, our fans, it's something that the fans can really enjoy and really be proud of. That's something that we're going to aim for. And you know, the main goal is to win a national championship at the pro level, but also even at the youth level. We want our youth teams to win national championships just the way we want our pro teams to win national championships. And we understand that it can't be done overnight as much as fans would like it to be done overnight. We are going to really strive to get there as quick as we can. We're just happy with where we're on, where we're moving forward for the future, and we're excited about it, and we're looking forward to bringing all the fans along for the ride.
So our vision is to continue to do that, do it successfully, have people think of the Breakers as the most professional organization in women's soccer, the most expansive, and be here for forever.
Thank you for supporting the Boston Breakers organization. Thank you for supporting women's soccer, and thank you for supporting women's sports. Please continue to do so because we still need to do that.
Please continue to support the Boston Breakers and support the organization and support the league, because it's so important for young girls to have role models to grow up to, and the more support that we get, then it's another 10 years and girls will be able to come and play when they're my age and look back at the times that they went and watched the Boston Breakers play.
Welcome to the Breakers family.
My favorite thing about Boston is probably the traffic or the consistency in the weather.